I'm Laura Ray, and today we're going to be testing out some hot new beauty products. There are so many things out that are new, fresh. Let's see if these formulas are any better than what we already use. Now, it's really early in the morning. It's 5:12 in the morning. And yes, I'm up doing this early because I want to do a wear test. I want to see how they hold up for a whole school day. I'm here in Florida where there's pretty high humidity. And today it's going to not be so hot. It's going to be in the 60s. It's finally starting to warm up a little bit. I put on brows before we get started, and I just picked up one of these old-fashioned CoverGirl pencils. I saw it the other day in taupe, and that really is a great shade for my brows. A lot of these pencils are very warm. I talked about that the other week. And this is just really nice. It's got a sponge on one end to sort of just blend things out like this. But I like the pencil. It's very soft. I really like the way that this shade matches with my brows. And I spoke the other day that I'm tired of trying to make these bigger brows that I don't really have. My brows just don't grow thick or straight. They have a natural arch to them, sort of the shape of my eye. And if I did grow extra hair, it'd probably be way down here and I just have to pluck it because it's just wild hair. So I'm happy with this pencil. It's super affordable. Again, that's from CoverGirl. It's a perfect blend. And this is the shade Smoky Taupe. I bought this recently. It's not new, but it certainly is hot because a lot of people seem to love it and give it great reviews. It's the Tatcha, the Serum Stick. This is supposed to help with blurring the under eye fine lines and crow's feet. And I've got those surely from smiling all these years. So I'm going to go start off putting some of this under the eye here, and then just sort of pushing it in. Now I do have my Kiehl's eye cream on. I put that on about maybe 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. So I'm going to just pat this in. It feels very moisturizing like most of these sticks do. And we'll see how it plays under my makeup. And today I will be testing out the brand new CC cream from IT Cosmetics. It's their matte, the natural matte. It's got a 40 SPF. Let's see how that goes with my sensitive skin. I've used their products before and they worked great, especially when I first had a flare-up of rosacea a few years ago. I don't seem to have that now that I'm off of dairy, but dairy set me off on a really rough skin trail for a while. Let's start with the eyes. I'm going to prime my eyes today with this from Ulta. Now, this isn't new, but again, it's very hot. It's the Ulta Longwear Matte Cream Eyeshadow. And this sort of got hot over on Instagram, and a lot of people are using this as an eyeshadow primer. It's sort of like a wet MAC Painterly paint pot, and I like to take it and blend it out with a clean brush. Now, you could use this on its own, put some eyeliner. You could just keep it on the lid, but I'm going to bring it up so that I have some primer for the entire lid. Now, what I've started doing lately is putting on my eyeshadow first so that it's not dropping onto the skin. I've done that before. You know how it is. You start one way and then you switch to the other way. Let's do foundation first. Let's do this first. I've just sort of switched to doing my eyes first. And that also is some of the most color that I'm using on the face is in the eyes. And then it helps me to gauge better how much lipstick I put on and also cheeks. I had a lot of compliments the other week about this lip product. The video wasn't even about lips, but a lot of you wrote me and said, "What are you wearing?" It was in a YouTube short. And so I'm going to put this on. This is Brazilian Berry. I was wearing one of the lip conditioners from Physicians Formula. A lot of people said, does it smell like the butter products? It does, but it doesn't seem to be as strong. I can't use the butter line. It just stuffs me up. So And when I say that, I mean my sinuses get stopped up from the scent. I'm very scent sensitive. Isn't this pretty? I just love the way it looks. It's sort of like you took a cream lipstick that had a beautiful shine and you melted it down. And they don't call it a gloss, they call it a lip conditioner. It's very lightweight on the lips. It's not sticky at all. See how the lips, especially as it dries. So I really enjoy it. It's just a very unique product. Now that my eyes are sort of set down, let's go ahead in with some Jane Iredale eyeshadow. They sent me some to use and try out. I'm loving them. The packaging on this is so beautiful. I dropped this on the floor the other day and I was about just so upset. I said, how did I drop that? I hope it's okay. And I opened it up and everything was perfect. And I've done that to other shadows before, and they've been just totally destroyed. So this is in the color palette called Honeysuckle. And I'm going to take the lightest, well, let's take the mid shade, the mid-tone here, and sort of just shape the eye. And the brush that I'm using today is from Sonia Kashuk, and I will list the brushes in the description of the video. I find that using that Ulta primer really gives more intensity to the shadows. Look at how much color payoff I'm getting from this color, and it doesn't even look like much in the palette. I think that looks really pretty. I just blend it up a little bit. I don't want something too over the top because, as I said, I'm going off to school and I want to look professional and I don't want to look overmade, but I have to tell you, the kids just love that I wear makeup. It's so cute over the years. You know, I'm very reflective right now because of retiring this school year after 30 years. Those of you that don't know, I've been a public school teacher for 30 years. It's hard to believe that my whole career has gone that fast. But I currently teach third grade. I've taught second. Really, I've taught all of elementary because I've been a resource teacher before where I taught all of the kids in the school. But currently I teach third grade. I've taught fourth for 12 years. I've taught gifted students for many years. And then I've taught children with learning disabilities also. So I've taught pretty much everything. And I was a second grade teacher for 5 years, and I really enjoyed that too. I promised you that I would show you this pencil. This is from Clinique, and it's a two-sided. It's a new pencil they came out with where there's a powder eyeshadow on one side that you sort of just swivel in the cap, and then this side, which is a liner. So I'm going to use the liner today as eyeliner, but let's go ahead and add a little bit of sparkle to the center of the eye. I'm going to just do this with my finger. So what I was going to say is that I remember I had this one student that every time I would go to lunch, drop them off, I go eat my lunch, come back 30 minutes later, I would touch up my lip gloss, and I used to wear NYX a lot at that time. And this one student would always be at the front of the line, and she would say, "Is that a NYX butter gloss? What shade is that?" And then after a while, she knew some of the shades because I would tell her the shades. And I just told her, "Mom, that is just the cutest that she knows all about lip gloss now, too." So I think that's a really soft, beautiful look. I could go in with the deeper shade as an eyeliner, and this shade here has some shimmer to it. Let me show you this bronze shade. It's really pretty. I like that. But I'm going to go ahead and go over the eye with the green crayon. The actual shade of this is called Mixed Greens. And I just thought that would be really pretty with the sweater that I'm wearing today. I thought this sweater was really pretty. It's got the lace sleeves, but then not here, not all the way down. So I really like this for school. I think it's really pretty. I like to wear dress pants to school most days. I don't wear skirts that often, dresses or pants, and I always prefer pants. But if I'm going out for a special occasion, I usually wear a dress. Let me know in the comments which you prefer. I'm curious. You prefer wearing a dress, a skirt? With summer coming, sometimes I'll wear these sort of flowy kind of dresses just to be comfortable and cool because it gets pretty hot here, even in North Florida. Let's add a little of the powder from the Clinique High Impact on the corner because it's a little deeper shade. We can even just pick it up a little bit like that. I really like that. I just went ahead and added it to the whole lid. This is a BK Beauty 204. It's a smudger brush. I'm going to just pick that up on the corner and smudge a little bit. Let's bring that green right into the crease there just to blend it out. I really like that. Now for mascara, I'll be using the Tartelette XL. This is a tubing mascara. I love tubing mascaras. I bought the sample size, the mini, to try. The brush is like mini I've used before where it's a cone shaped. It goes down to a point and it really allows you to get down into the lashes. Now I did a short comparing this with the brand new one from e.l.f. So if you are considering buying a tubing mascara, watch that video. It's only a minute long and I do a wear test and I think you'll be very happy with the results. I love these tubing mascaras. Hopefully you'll see at the end of the day, they don't smudge or flake. And that's a big deal for me. For years, I've gone in at lunchtime and look in the restroom mirror and go, oh no, and find flakes or find that my mascara has smudged. And I think, how long have I been going around like that? How long has this been going on? So then I will say, why didn't you guys tell me my mascara was a mess? They tell me everything else. I say, if my mascara is a mess, you let me know, please. The nice thing about tubing mascara is the way it washes off too. You don't need a makeup remover. So you just wet the lashes, they come off, and you go, gosh, my lashes. I think my lashes have been in better health using these tubing mascaras as opposed to using a traditional mascara formula. All right, I think I got them coated. I actually even coat the bottom lashes because it doesn't make a mess. So let's put a little bit on there just to give them a little definition. Otherwise, you really can't see my lashes at all. They're not that dark. All right, I said about not making a mess, and now I'm getting it under my eye. If that happens, just let it dry and then take a Q-tip and it'll flake off. So it's no big deal, but if you wipe it too soon, then it'll smudge and make a mess. So I'm going to clean up under the eyes in just a minute, but let's take a look. I want to give you a tip about applying eyeshadow, especially when you're a little scared you might put too much on and ruin a look. Take your brush, not only tap a little bit of the excess off, but work it into the hand before you go on to the eye. And that's what I'm going to do right now. And I'm just wiping across very gently. There, you can see I've really brought out the eyes a little bit more than I have over here. So let's add just a little bit. So I'm going in, pressing the shadow into the fibers of the brush, and then going here. And my eyes are very deep set, so when I do my eyes, I try to look forward and make sure that I'm getting above the crease because you could see my crease is way back in my eye socket. So if I just put stuff there, you wouldn't see it very much if I only put eyeshadow there. So I like to look ahead, just like someone with hooded eyes. If you have hooded eyes, then you're going to want to do the same thing where you're looking straight ahead at yourself and then seeing where you want it to go like that. Today, what I've decided to use to apply this is my Sonia Kashuk sponge that is slightly damp. Not super wet, but just slightly damp. And I put it right on my hand on the top. So I'm just going to dab in, get a little bit, and start wiping on the skin. Now, I have started and pressing. I'm pressing into the skin. I wanted to tell you, I've started using a damp sponge because I've found that I get less puddling in the pores. And some of you have written me about that. You said, oh, I seem to get so much in the pore where I can really see it. And I've found that using a damp sponge helps with that. Now let's talk about scent, because that's really important to a lot of people. I definitely smell the sunscreen scent in this. And so I want to tell you that. Now, it won't last for long, I'm sure, because I've used their products before, and it typically will dissipate fairly quickly. But for those of you that are sensitive to that smell, I wanted to make mention of it. What are you thinking of this so far? Let's stop for a minute and take a look. I'm loving it. Look at the difference here between this side. You see my redness. You see where I've had a couple of zits recently. And over here, the coverage I'm getting is really good. And I don't think it looks flat. You can still see shine under my skin. And I just really see such a difference. I like the look of this so far. So let's hope it holds up all day. This would be nice to have something else I could use that would make it a whole school day and still look good. Some of you have asked me what I'm going to do when I retire. And the thing is that the last 10 years, I've done YouTube and, of course, taught all day. And it's been very challenging. I haven't had the advantage that a lot of people did when they started channels where that was their full-time job. And so I've lost a lot of sleep doing my channel. And especially in the past year and a half, I started posting more videos and just sort of really trying to give it my all. And that's been really tough. And that's why I wake up every day at 3:45. So I pretty much work constantly. And so I'm very excited to have one job, YouTube. And of course, I am doing Instagram also. So social media will then be my full-time job. So I'm not really retiring. I feel like I'm just getting down to one job instead of multiple jobs. But I'm looking forward to that. My husband and I probably won't do a lot of traveling. We're not really big travelers, but we really are very excited about going to Mackinac Island. We went there a few years ago and just fell in love. We love Michigan. My husband's father is from Michigan, so we just have a love for that state. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm really happy with this. I don't like my skin to be too glowy, but I also don't like it too matte, and this seems to have good balance to it. This buttermelt bronzer is all over the internet. I bought the shade Deserve Butter, and it looks so beautiful. I wore it the other day and really liked the shade that I bought. So we'll put some of that on. Let me grab my brush. And again, a good way to do these products is take it and work it into the brush. That way you don't get a big glob all of a sudden when you go onto the skin. But I think this shade is really good. If you're like me and you're sort of the end of light, the beginning of neutral in most things, then this would probably be a shade you would like. because it definitely warms up. You can see it's warmed up my face, but it's not going to look too much once I blend it out. And I always bring it down to the neck. That helps a lot with blending makeup, is to bring it down to the neck like that, the bronzer. Some days I'll just wear bronzer. I'll just not do any blush at all, just bronze up the face. Could even bronze the nose a little bit. But you see, I just dipped into this very lightly. This will last me forever. And even with pressing it into the brush, I got a lot. Like, this is a little darker here than I normally would do. But it'll work out in the end. I'll be wearing my hair down, and I think this will be fine. Now we're going to go in with a blush from Jane Iredale. They sent me this one, and it's in the shade Flourish, and it's a lighter peach. And peach is like the color of the year. We keep hearing about it all the time, and I've always loved peach. They sent me a deeper peach that I used in another video, so this was the other one, which is a light peach. I love their blushes. They don't lay on the skin. They just look like they're part of your skin. They're really beautiful blushes. And again, the packaging on these is so sturdy. It's magnetic and it's substantial. It's sort of heavy and it's very classy looking, in my opinion. I really like it. Now I'm going to wipe off my lips, and we're going to try out a couple of new lipsticks from Revolution. I don't often use their lipsticks, but I saw these. I thought the packaging was super cute, and I bought Queen Pink and also Brunch Pink Nude. So we're going to try these out, see how they look. And I'm going to grab a lip pencil that's not new, but that I love. It's the Milani Nude Pencil. So we'll try that, give a little shape to my lips. That lip conditioner really moisturized my lips, and that'll make the pencil so easy to put on. Now that I've got a little shape, let's go ahead and try out this one. This is called Queen Pink. I love the packaging. Like I said, it's pretty sturdy too. And these are like a matte, but they have that velvety look and feel to them. Very creamy, and it just glides super easily onto the lips. Let me know what you think of this shade in the comments. I think these are beautiful. They feel very light on the lips, and of course you could add a little gloss if you wanted to maybe elevate it a little bit, make it a little shinier. I'm not going to do that today. Now, one thing I left out, which I don't even feel like I need, but I'm going to try it out because I bought it to test. It's not new, but I wanted to see how it would look. It's from Revolution also. It's their Eye Bright Corrector, and I actually bought medium to deep. I wanted to see if I could make the under eyes look brighter without looking lighter. So I see most people applying very light, and myself included, brightener in the under eyes. But sometimes I think that makes my eyes look worse. And what I'm also doing is mixing it with setting spray. And I'll be using the CoverGirl Priming Glow Mist just to give it a good lasting power and to see if that helps it not crease. And boy, did it make my under eye concealer really last. So let's go ahead, and I love it. The main area I want to work on also is this inner corner, because I tend to get dark in there. Let's see if this brightens me up without it being light. I think that actually looks really good. We'll see how it looks at the end of the day. But I did spray. This is a really great setting spray. I've used it for a long time, so it's not new, but it's wonderful. I've repurchased it a couple of times because it is so good and super affordable. And that's saying a lot because I try out many different setting sprays. Now what I'll do now is take the warmth of my fingers and just sort of press it all in. I'm going to touch up my hair and I'll come back before I leave for school. I'll be leaving for school in a few minutes. Let's see. I really like this look. I love the eyes. They have some attention to them, but they're not too over the top. And I've got a nice bronzy look going, and I am impressed with the It. This has been my favorite look from any of their products that I've tried before. So we'll see how it holds up for a whole school day. I'm back from work. It's 4:12 in the afternoon. Let's see how this makeup held up. First off, let's start with the CC Natural Matte. I am just loving this. Look at it. It's still on my skin. I don't see the breakdown, at least not much, maybe a little bit here, that I usually get around the nose because I have allergies. And even if I've wiped my nose today a couple of times, it's still on. I look at my forehead, I don't see any there in the creases of the forehead or in the line here. So I am so impressed because remember, I didn't put any powder or anything on. So that's just the product working on its own, which I think is marvelous. And I'm just crazy about this shade. It's the shade Neutral Medium. I think it really gives me a nice tan sort of look, yet very natural. So I'm thrilled with that. Let's talk now about the Butter Bronzer, the one from NYX. I still see the color here. I think it looks really good. I love the formula of it. I think the formula is great. So this was a win. The eye stick from Tatcha, I love the way it feels in the under eyes. I will have to get back with you with more information about that. I love the dewiness that I still feel. I can feel it. Some of the stick still under the eyes. That's very impressive. Most under eye products I would put on, you wouldn't feel the product that many hours later. So I think that's wonderful. Let's talk about the eyeshadow from Jane Iredale. It held up beautifully. I think this eye look still looks great. Now remember, I used the eye pencil from Clinique. This is called their High Impact Shadow Play. It's a shadow and a pencil. And I can definitely see all of the green still on the lids. And it didn't transfer. It didn't go into the under eyes. Now I think something that really helped with that too is the setting spray that I used from CoverGirl. This is fantastic, along with the product that I got from Makeup Revolution. Remember, this is the under eye brightener. I like going with this deeper shade. It doesn't make my eyes look so contrasting, the under eyes between that and my foundation. So maybe all along I needed a little deeper shade to cover up any discoloration, yet add a little bit of brightness. So I bought the shade medium to deep, and I really like the way that looks in the under eyes. Now, also mixing it with the setting spray, let's take a close-up look. I don't see it in my fine lines or anything. I think everything looks fantastic. And so that was a huge win for me. The blush from Jane Iredale, the light soft blush, which was the shade Flourish, still on the cheeks. These products from Jane Iredale are a little pricier, but I've always heard people say they're pricier, but they're amazing, and that's how I feel. They are more than what you pay for a drugstore, but the packaging is fantastic. The product itself is wonderful. So I'm a huge fan. We have a couple more products to talk about. The Tarte XL looks great. I don't see any kind of flaking or anything in the under eyes, and that's been my experience. I've tried this before. However, I have found that the e.l.f. works just as well. If you haven't seen my YouTube short, you'll want to watch it. I will link it so you can see it. I talked about this before, that the e.l.f. look just as great. So if you'd like to see the proof of that, make sure you see the short. The eye primer, well, it's not actually a primer. This is an eyeshadow from Ulta Beauty, but I'm using it as a primer. Works fantastic. Like I said, look at how the shadows held on after all these hours. And I do have a little bit of oily lids, so if I don't use a primer, my shadow would be gone. So this really helps. And the lipstick, I did have to reapply. This is not a lipstick that's going to last you all day. But what I did notice is when it wore off, there was a little bit of a stain, a little bit of color left behind, which I liked. So I do love this formula. I think it's beautiful. It's super affordable. It's a drugstore price. If you like that silky kind of matte lipstick, then I think you would really enjoy it. And of course, you could always top this with something shiny if you wanted to try it out and you like the color, but you want to finish with more shine. Now, I did want to mention 2 other products, the lip conditioner. I'm just such a lover of this. It just feels so amazing on the lips. I had this on at the beginning of the video, and it really is great. Actually, let's try topping the lipstick with it. This is a deeper shade, but let's try that. Wow. That just took it up a whole notch, didn't it? I think you can see why I love this. I haven't tried anything like this before. It really is like you took that lipstick and melted it down. It's just so luscious. 2 more things. The Milani lip pencil worked great. I'm a longtime user of Milani lip pencils, so this worked wonderfully. And look at how the brow product held up. That is amazing. I didn't put anything in my brows to make this stay longer, and I actually thought this would be useless because it's a little sponge, but boy, it worked really good for blending out the powder so you couldn't see any lines. Just so you all can see, this is the shade of the pencil, and it is a taupe, and I just love taupe. I think so many of us could benefit from using taupe over some of these more warm shades that they make pencils of. This is Future Laura, and can you believe I realized the last few seconds of the video I had lipstick on my teeth, and I did not realize that till the editing process. But I just wanted to come back and thank all of you for subscribing to my channel, for all of your support, your kindness, for purchasing from my links. You are the sponsors of my channel, and I wouldn't have a channel without you. So I just wanted you to know how much I appreciate and love you. And I look forward to seeing you again real soon.